Good morning, I'm Lauren Granada, and this is NBC5 In Depth. Today we celebrate all of the mothers and mother figures in our lives who have given us life and continue to shape us. As we take the time to thank them, we also recognize the businesses that support and work for mothers. Burlington-based company Mamava provides private pods for mothers to breastfeed or pump in working places and public spaces. The World Health Assembly 2025's target goal for breastfeeding around the world is 50%. According to UNICEF, infants 6 months and under being exclusively breastfed has reached 48% globally, which is 10% higher than a decade ago. According to the CDC, breastfeeding can help protect babies against some short and long-term illnesses and diseases. And breastfed babies have a lower risk of asthma, obesity, type 1 diabetes, and sudden infant death syndrome. Breastfed babies are also less likely to have ear infections and stomach bugs. Sasha Meyer and Christine Dodson, the co-founders and chief experience and executive officers of Mamava, started their business in 2013 after recognizing the lack of spaces at work and in public places where mothers could breastfeed or pump. They installed the first lactation pod in the Patrick Leahy Burlington International Airport. Since then, the company has delivered more than 5,000 pods throughout the U.S. and created a free app to help people find 10,000 approved places to pump or nurse all over the world. I sat down with both Sasha and Christine to talk about their 12 years in business and what it's like being working moms. First, I just want to say Happy Mother's Day to you both.
Thank you.
Tell me what Mother's Day means to Mamava.
Oh, it's a really busy time. It's sort of like our biggest holiday, and we actually do internal celebrations. So today we have bouquet making, and it's just a really good time to remind folks about the importance of motherhood and of how moms are always creating things, including new humans. So it's a really special time.
Our business wouldn't exist without mothers. So celebrating Mother's Day is just right in alignment with our mission. So it's always fun, and it's definitely a day to reflect on how we started and what keeps us going, which is all of the moms out there who need and require support to keep doing what they're doing.
Mamava started in 2013 based off of your own experience as mothers. For those who don't understand, what is it like for a mother to experience breastfeeding and the challenges of providing a space where a mother can breastfeed and pump?
Well, it's funny, we come from a design background, and at the time that we conceived of the lactation pod, there was so little design around this act of parenting that was really important, right? You think about the kitchens have designs and offices have designs, but there was no design around it, and it's like a second or third job when you're breastfeeding. It takes a lot of mental space and then a lot of physical space and strength. So solving that problem was key, and making moms not feel isolated or like they're the only ones who have kind of struggled with it has been a really big factor in what the brand is about.
Yeah, I would agree that bringing it to the forefront, both with a visible physical space and the celebration of breastfeeding, was what it was all about for us, and that acknowledgement that it is a really hard thing to do, especially if you're trying to juggle a job and travel or anything that brings you away from your baby. And that was our own experience when we started this company.
Thousands of pods, 12 years later. How much have the pods themselves evolved over the years?
Surprisingly, very little. I mean, I think we've gotten better. When we purchased our manufacturing facility, we were able to be more hands-on with evolving them. And we listen to the feedback we get. We have many ways for users to get in touch with us and give us their feedback. So we try to evolve the product to meet the needs of the breastfeeding people using them. But I think the biggest change probably was going from, our main unit is still the same shape, the same general size as it was originally, but we've introduced some new units that just fit in more spaces and are more accessible from a price point to our customers. So now we have a full range in our line.
And in the beginning, we didn't have a lock on the pods, but we realized we wanted to kind of control access, and we had developed an app quite early on, so we thought, let's connect the app to the pods themselves. It's free, but it'll enable moms to actually find and locate them and open them, and so that has been sort of an added layer of technology that enhances the experience both for the mom, but also just management of the space for the facilities that host them.
Talk to me about production and how tariffs have impacted production, even though the pods are built here in Vermont.
We have not seen a hard impact yet. We did some strategic purchasing. Some of our components are, the country of origin is actually outside the US. So only very few are we buying directly from other countries. A lot of our distributors, though, get the raw materials from other countries. Oftentimes we don't even know we're buying the component. So we are tracking that. We anticipate we will feel a increase in our cost of goods probably towards mid to the end of year. But again, everything is so uncertain right now, how long these tariffs will be intact, how high or low they'll go through negotiations. So we're right now taking a wait and see. We don't want to raise our prices if we can avoid that. We also are feeling the impact on the customer side just with economic uncertainty and budgets and putting projects on hold. So we are feeling it.
Despite that, though, we did just celebrate recently a pod being installed in Plattsburgh, New York, here in our neighborhood. Talk to me about what that expansion has been like beyond the U.S., 5,000 pods here in the U.S., but to be able to offer these pods in other countries. And also talk to me about the learning side of breastfeeding. I'm not a mother myself. I hope to be one day. But there is also education that goes with breastfeeding. Talk to me about what that has been like internationally.
So I would say we have not made a deliberate move to broaden our distribution internationally.
Besides Canada.
Besides Canada. And we do have, we've gone international through the government and kind of different customers who are multinational, so they do the exporting. And the reason we made that decision to not go full on international is you're bringing up the point, is there's a lot of cultural nuances to breastfeeding throughout the world. And we wanted to make sure we really understood what the needs were in the different markets. And there's a ton of opportunities still here in the U.S. So as a small growing business, we wanted to make sure we were focusing our efforts here in our backyard first, get all the learnings we can before we deliberately expand internationally. So I'd say we're doing it, but cautiously.
And frankly, I think the need in many countries who might be compelled by support for lactation is less because they have paid parental leave and just more progressive policies to support parents anyway. So yes, you might still want some lactation spaces out in the world, but as far as in the workplace, which is the majority of where we place our units, less of a need because people don't go back to work so soon after giving birth.
Talk to me about, like you mentioned, Christine, just the need that we have here at home and here in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've barely scratched the surface in terms of where our pods are. It's essentially anywhere a breastfeeding parent would travel, or work. So when you think about it that way, we're in healthcare, we're in education, we're in government, we're in
military,
everywhere, military. And employers, like just back of house is what we call that category. And we know that we have barely scratched the surface when you think about all of the working women out there and the companies that they're working at and women who are traveling. The need is everywhere, and we will continue to expand our footprint here in the U.S.
And the PUMP Act was a piece of legislation that was passed at the end of 2022 and basically closed the gap to mandate that employers had to provide break time and a space other than a restroom to use a breast pump. And before that, there had been other legislation, but sort of with less teeth. And so this new legislation now covers exempt employees like teachers and healthcare workers who are salaried. So that created a lot more demand as well for a plug-and-play solution like what we created.
What has feedback been like? What kind of impact have you guys made over these last 12 years?
I think there's the two sides, the employers and our customers, and then the users. And I would say from the customer side, the appreciation that we understand the needs of their employees and can support them in delivering the best in class breastfeeding accommodations and support. We, just through our app and access to other public spaces, we are working on products and services that enhance what we offer in terms of the pod, so more of a full program approach for employers. And I think what we've found is that that's a unique offering. Anyone can come out with a pod, right? But not all have the expertise and the understanding of the needs of lactating people that we do. So has been really successful with our customers. On the user side, I'd say the appreciation is just there's a space where they need it and they can get access to it without having to go to a customer service person. If they have the mobile app, they can just walk up, they can find it, walk up and open it. And we've tried to think of everything. And again, we got lots of feedback and we're trying to make improvements in the product all the time.
I think it's so gratifying because we talked about that isolation when you are a breastfeeding parent. Now these people just feel seen, right? And there's a feature on the app that says words of support, and it's really meant to be moms sharing words of support for other moms who are on the app, but much of the time they're actually thanking us. So it's really gratifying, as an entrepreneur, as working in creating a whole new category. There are some tough times, especially when so much can sway on the political climate, but just the gratification of seeing those words of support has been really meaningful for us.
What's your guys' hope for Mamavelle looking forward?
Well, I think just being a co-founder of a company, my hope is that we can continue to grow this business and to have more of an impact in the world. I mean, again, right now focused on the US, but there's a lot of opportunity and a lot of ideas we have beyond just spaces that we can develop to support our customers and our parents. So I think I'm just excited to have this team that we have now and have the resources that we have to continue to put it into the business and to serve, to deliver more on our mission. I mean, that's what gets me excited and keeps me engaged in this work.
What is it like being mothers and running your business?
Well, my young adults are 26, 24, 23. And right now, I feel like I'm in this space where I can put more time and energy into the work here, which I love. And they are so supportive. They've been with me along the way. So I'd say as a parent, I'm feeling probably less stress than many of my colleagues who have younger families. But it's also exciting to know that we are about, we represent as a business what we are preaching to the world, and we give our employees flexibility and supporting, benefits that help families. And and that's also gratifying that we can create that type of business in this world.
Yeah, my kids are also 19 and 21, but they were little when we started, and I think that I've been toying with this idea of motherhood as this act of creation, right? And entrepreneurism and creating Mamavelle, this act of creation, and for them to kind of see the trade-offs of what it meant to maybe not be with them because we were working on the business, and how difficult that was, but how much we've achieved has been, I think, a wonderful opportunity for them to learn and build grit in the kind of lives that they want to make. So, or maybe that's just what I tell myself.
No, I think it's true.
We mothered in different ways. So we had our babies, but the business has also been our baby for a long time.
For sure.
What's your message to mothers on this Mother's Day?
Celebrate you, and take time and enjoy it and just relax. And I mean, it's should be more than once a year, but take what you can get. Yeah, and I'm grateful that I feel like this company takes the time. Like Sasha's said, we did the flower arranging today, and it's just a nice pause and celebration.
Again, motherhood is an act of creation. If you're a mom, you've created something great already, and it's also a work in progress. So know that you've done something great by becoming a mother, and cut yourself some slack too in those times when it's really hard.
Thank you both so much. I appreciate your work and your messages today.
Thanks,
you.
Lauren.